Hello, my loves. Hello. Welcome to November 2020 and beyond's energy update. This will include information about December and 2021. And before I forget, because they're reminding me right now, 2023 and 2022. Otherwise, I'll forget. Otherwise, I will forget. Hello. When you're popping on, say hello. Let me know where you're watching from. And if you're watching the replay, hashtag it replay. Let me know where you're watching from. For those of you who are new to me, I am Johanna Burkhardt. I am a multi-dimensional channel teacher and healer. And my mission here is to help you go from where you are right now to where you want to be. And I do that through creating a clear channel. So I'm here to clear the channels on the planet and just really help guide people through this crazy ascension journey that we are on. Remembering that the body is what's ascending here. Our consciousness is what's expanding, okay? And that's why we are feeling pressurized right now. And literally, if you were to look from the science point of view, there's actually solar energy all around the planet in a way that it has never been before. And it's really creating a pressurizing effect, really squeezing our bodies, if you will, really bringing that energy up to the surface. And as we record this right now in this moment, it is Samhain, which is also Halloween. And this is a time when people like to say the veil is super thin. And my guides always tell me, is the veil thin, or are just more people accepting the fact that there may be supernatural experiences? Because here's the thing, there is no veil. There is no veil. But what creates a veil, and a veil is an illusion anyway, an illusion of separation. What creates the veil to begin with, if we're going to say that there is one, is a belief system. And this morning I posted on my social media platforms that your belief systems create your reality. And because what you believe is what you're going to see. Whether you think you are a see to believe person or not, that's the way it works, okay? And so we're going to be using that concept a lot today, and that's why I bring it up. So if collectively, if 70% of the world's population, the whole world's population believes that there's a separation between the physical and non-physical, then we would create a veil. But around this time of year, more and more people are open, right? Their minds are open to paranormal or supernatural experiences. It almost becomes okay that it happens on this day or in this time. And so people are more open to it. And because they are more open to it, we have more experiences and the energy is more potent, okay? Because again, a collective is a focused intention. Energy so focused in one area that you're able to see things differently or see things more clearly, all right? So keep that in mind when you hear people say the veil is thin. There really is no veil. It's a belief system, okay? And we really want to work on that belief system. Hi, guys. Thank you, everybody, for popping on. If you resonate with this broadcast, if you know somebody who should hear this or be introduced to me or just my philosophies, my teachings, please hit that share button and send it out. So today I have really, actually the past few days, for those who don't know how I do my energy updates, I spend a few days connecting to whatever collective of guides wants to step forward to bring this month's energy update. I connect in with, not every time, but when I feel guided, I connect into the planets. I am not an astrologer. I have not studied astrology, but I know how to read the consciousness of the planets and the information that they want to bring forth regarding their alignments and what it's going to be doing for us. Because remember, all of this has already happened. Everything has already happened. Love has already won, okay? And the Pleiadians, I'm jumping ahead. Let me come back. So I take the temperature of all that information, right? I connect in with the planets, I connect in with the guides, I connect in with the collective conscious, and I bring a balanced of all of those energies and I create my update. So for this update in particular, I have the Ninth Dimensional Pleiadians who have stepped forward. I also have, which every time I'm super connected with their energy, I can easily get emotional. The love that this collective brings forth is insane. It's insane. And so they have been the majority of what I've been connecting with for this update. I also connected for this one with the Galactic Federation of Light and the Ancients. And the Ancients have pretty much been with me most of this year. They came earlier in the year. They showed up for me. And it's no surprise because we have this is a really huge thing. We've never done this before. And so they really needed to show up at this time to really help guide us in a way that will make us feel more at peace and at home and more safe within ourselves, which is another theme for this month. So last month for October, I focused more on the astrological events because there was a lot of alignments that were happening, a lot of portals that were opening. And I really wanted to give you guys more of a structural timeline, where this month we're going to go back to my traditional way of doing updates, which is the 3 themes. Okay. So first of all, I know a lot of you probably won't be able to see this board super clear, and that's okay. It's more for me, but I did want you guys to get this visual. So this was the imagery that they showed me. Basically 2 triangles or 2 pyramids with this huge portal in the center. And they wanted me to connect the dots. And as the Pleiadians come in, they wanted me to have this visual up for you guys because they wanted you guys to know that, one, we're doing amazing, okay? The majority of the light workers on the planet right now are holding the frequency of safety, of love, of peace, of the fact that love wins, that this is just a slow motion replay that has alternate endings, okay? This has already been completed. There is nothing to fear. They want to make sure that you guys know that, okay? There is absolutely no real fear that's happening. This is a game. This is an advanced level of the game when you chose to become a human. This is an advanced leveling of the game that you chose to play. You are strong enough to do this. You are more than capable of doing this, and you are completely safe. Everything that is happening is meant to happen. As it is, this is all meant to play out. There is nothing here that is actually shocking or surprising as far as the guides go and our divine path of ascension. Okay, so that's first and foremost. But they wanted to know that the power is in us, the people, as human beings. The power is in us. They said, look at the bottom of these triangles and pyramids. The base is wider, okay? If you look at all the pyramids that have ever been built, the power is not at the top of the pyramid, okay? It's at the bottom. It's where most of the weight is held. We have the power. We always had the power. The issue has become that they have been really good at psychological and mental warfare, psychological and mental manipulation through our food, through our water, through TV, through music, through our the people who we as the people put in charge, okay? And so we still hold the majority, but they had to get really good at psychological and mental warfare to use fear and control against us, to make us feel like we were in control, yet still fear it, right? And try to control it. Because when we are in an energy of controlling, our nervous system is in fight or flight. When you are a controlling person or someone who's trying to control a situation, your nervous system is automatically placed in fight or flight. It was designed so that we could handle short-term stressful situations. Unfortunately, that's not what's happened. And this is why so many healers have burnout. This is why so many people have what they consider to be anxiety, which really is just overwhelm. It's an overwhelming focused energy on the self, okay? Why we have so many people that have autoimmune diseases, who have other major chronic health problems, because they're constantly in a state of fight or flight, okay? They're constantly trying to control their environment externally to create safety internally. And that's another big thing that we're going to be talking about today, because In order to feel safe, it doesn't come in controlling your outer circumstances. And in fact, a very clear message that they brought forth was, if you try to control something that is out of your control, that there is absolutely nothing you can do to fix this or to make it better or to set it up so that you will be safe, you are literally wasting your energy. It would be no different than siphoning the gas out of your car and letting it go all over the place. You are literally just draining your energy. And as we begin the first part of this month, it's going to be super, super important that you reserve your energy. Okay. So the first theme this month, before we get into all of this stuff, is they said GPS, but GPS inward. So this is a time for stillness, for inner connection, for peace, for really getting clear about, and this is something I've been talking about since January, right? In the very first January update I put out there, Seeing Clearly in 2020, what did I tell you guys? This is the year to know who you are. This is the year to know your boundaries, which is who you are, to know what you will tolerate and what you won't tolerate, what you like, what you don't like, what makes you feel at peace, what brings you joy, what lights you up, what does not. So if you haven't done that this year, you better kick it into high gear, because boundaries is so important right now. And boundaries is not a fence, okay? I feel like I say this on repeat, but it's because the more you hear it, the more it will sink into your consciousness. Boundaries is, you like something one way, I like something another way. I'm not going to compromise to make you happy. I'm going to honor what's in alignment for me. Okay. It's knowing thyself at the deepest level, which is your structuring, right? And if you have a solid structure, think of the Louisiana levees. If the structure is strong, if it's been nurtured, if it's been taken care of, if it's been tended to, if it's, made strong, the energy will flow, the water will flow through it without spilling over, without busting, without breaking, without leaks and cracks. So your boundaries is your structuring. It is a very masculine energy, okay? But it's a divine masculine energy. So we are to go inward for the first part of November, all right? So there's 3 themes this month. We have GPS, which is an inner GPS. We have free falling, healing, and a realign, reconnect, recharge, okay? And so you can kind of see this visual as well, inner, outer, and inside is a massive portal that we're going to talk about. So back to the first theme, first part of November, stillness. So what does this look like? Stillness does not necessarily mean you have to go meditate on a pillow and sit still and not talk to anybody. Stillness is a quieting of the mind. This is your opportunity to kind of back away from people, from the media, from social media, from TV, from people, places, and things that drain your energy, that are combative, okay? To really reserve and reclaim your energy. It is a time to create stillness in the mind. So what helps you go inward? Is it meditating? Not with guided meditations, but with just listening to your heartbeat, just quieting that mind, listening to your breath, using your breath. Is it gardening? Is it listening to meditative music or opera music or Mozart? Is it painting, coloring? Is it walks in nature? What are the things that create stillness in your mind, that help you create peace and recharge your energy? Really focused intention going inward. And collectively, this first week of November, it's going to feel like the world is standing still, okay? It's going to feel like we are stuck in the mud. And what happens if you're stuck in quicksand? What happens if your vehicle's stuck in the mud? I used to love playing outdoors and off-roading and desert sand. I'm from San Diego, so we had the most beautiful deserts. And one thing I know for sure is, if I got my truck stuck, the more I tried to get out of it, like quickly, and spun my tires, the deeper I would dig myself into that hole. And then I'd be in real trouble. Okay. So the same thing happens emotionally and mentally. When you feel stuck, when you feel like you don't know which way to go, you can't move, you're feeling thick or heavy, it is not a time to try to escape. It's not a time to try to run away or flee the scene. It's not a time to quickly try to fix it. How can I control? How can I make this better? These emotions don't feel good. These thoughts don't sound good. They don't make me feel good. I have to escape. I need to distract. I need to do something. I got to get away from it. That is your fight or flight system activated. And what's happening is you're going to start going deeper and deeper and deeper into that hole. And it's going to be harder to get out. So you need to then pull on your tools and resources, okay? I have given over this year in my updates a ton of tools, a ton of techniques to help you guys. You can go back to any one of my energy updates just to go through and get my tools. And I would highly suggest that you go through them all if you're somebody who's brand new to me. But to also know that I have a Self-Mastery Academy that has students from all around the world in it. And it literally can help people who are, it's literally designed to help people who are just waking up all the way to mastery, to stepping into this type of role. It's literally a journey from kindergarten to graduation, okay? So that's available too if you're looking for more tools. So make a list, okay? Make a list of the things that bring you into immediate peace inside of yourself, that make you feel safe. Because what's going to be happening is we're going to have this rebalancing, but in this rebalancing, it's like giving us an opportunity to see where we have face our fears and weaknesses. Where are there still shadows that you need to pull that thread on? Where are there still things that you are in fear of? Where are there still things that you are doubting? Where are there still anger and resentments in your energy, right? I recently found anger and resentment in the bottom of my well. And it wasn't directed at a person, place, or thing. It was actually directed at myself, right? So now I know what to work on this week and what I need to dive deeper into, because this is a journey. Just because you stand up on a screen like I am, or someone who's standing on stage or is a published author, we tend to put public figures or influencers up on these huge pedestals and say that they don't have anything wrong in their lives. They don't have shadows. They don't have doubts. They don't have issues. They can't make mistakes. And we all witness that. If anybody follows Rachel Hollis, I was never a fan of her. I never felt she was authentic. But she made some mistakes and she was heavily persecuted in the public eye. And let me just tell you something. That needs to stop. We need to stop judging and persecuting people and start giving them grace and compassion, especially if you classify yourself as someone who is awake, someone who is spiritually in tuned and is a light worker. We don't judge in that way. We don't treat fellow humans in that way, okay? So know who you are, find your inner peace, find your inner safety. You will not be able to find it outside of you. And as I mentioned in last month's update, like this is the final prep as these waves start to happen where more and more people are waking up and more people are moving into a paradigm shift. The first wave is going to be in December, into January. There's going to be this huge wave of people. We are projected to have billions of people wake up. They will all wake up differently. Okay, they will all experience things differently, and it will happen at a different pace for everybody. But this is going to happen in waves over the next few years, okay? And it all begins now. This is that final prep. You really want to get your ducks in a row. You really want to be committed to your journey, committed to yourself, first and foremost, discovering what your energy is, what your resonance field is, because that's what it is. If you're listening to me and I say something that doesn't resonate with you, that's okay, because truth is subjective. Okay, I'm bringing truth from the guides that I'm working with currently through my lens, my filter. And so someone else may bring information through their filter. They may then see through those lenses that they're wearing what their reality looks like, what their truth looks like. And that filter is filled with their beliefs, their fears, their doubts, anything that has been programmed or patterned into them. So it's going to limit them or dirty their lens, okay? So truth is always subjective. Not everything is true, but there is truth in everything, is what the Pleiadians always tell me. So again, the first part of November, we are really, really, really focusing inward. We're really facing those last little pesky fears that have come up, especially with this crazy moon that we are in right now, that's going to be peaking in about 2 hours, which is a karmic release. There's a big karmic release happening over this yesterday, today, and tomorrow. So facing those fears, weaknesses, doubts that are coming up in you, really getting that list. And I say list, like literally you guys get on your phone, open your notepad, create a list that you can open anywhere, anytime, and have 5 or 6 activities that you can go jump right into to drop you into peace, to drop you into safety inside of yourself, because things are going to get a little bit crazy. And I know I've been saying that, but it's going to happen in its own way. Speaking of which, the Galactic Federation of Light has shown me several different timelines and probabilities where there are some timelines still with potential that hold things like, and this is not to bring anybody into fear, but it is to bring awareness, things like martial law, things like more lockdowns, things like shelves on store shelves being empty, creating people setting up camps. There are those timelines still there. But here's how we shift them, okay? I have it on here somewhere. We're not here. Don't play in the fear. Shift the timeline. So even if your country, right? Even if your country, your state, your city, whatever you are, begins to have another lockdown, begins to show signs of any of these things, right? Making more control and less freedom for you. I want you to remember me telling you this right now, okay? Even though you are seeing it happen, even though you are feeling it happen, you hold the power to shift that timeline and move through it quicker, to lift those regulations and control. The more we give the small number of people at the top our power by feeding into the fear and believing that they can control us, the more that timeline will happen. Okay? So again, this is why they said the power is in us. There are still those scary timelines that are there, but more likely than not, those things are not going to happen in the way that they could have. Okay? It's going to be less likely the more you focus on this now moment. So when I talk about, and I talk about this all the time, you guys, presence and awareness. When you are all here in this moment, you are not worried about an hour from now. You're definitely not worried about tomorrow. You're definitely not worried about last week or next week or the last week. You're not worried about what happened 20 minutes ago. You are in the now moment, and you can simply do this by taking a deep breath, dropping your shoulders, and doing that as many times as you need to just kind of feel yourself kind of getting a little loose. And you can look around and you can say, I'm okay. I'm okay. It's okay. In this moment, I am okay. In this moment, I am safe. In this moment, I have everything I need. I have food, I have water, I have a roof over my head, I have my loved ones. I am safe to experience joy, even though it looks like the world is burning down, even though it looks like there's anarchy outside, even though it looks scary on the news. I can choose to turn those fear agendas off, and I can choose to experience joy in this moment. And I can say, right now, I am safe. Because this now moment is what creates your next now moment. You know, we talk about manifestation a lot and all these steps to manifesting. But you know what? My team always tells me, you're always manifesting. Your only thing that creates physicality, that creates reality, is focused intention, right? That's why I went live with that message from the guides a couple days ago. Is focused intention. Whatever you're feeding is what's going to grow, period. So you are literally always manifesting. It's about learning and discerning how to focus your intention. All right. Those are very important things I just said. So the power is literally in us. You don't like what you're seeing on TV. You don't like what you're seeing in your community. You don't like what you're feeling in the energy. You empaths out there, highly sensitives, hello, right? We feel everything. Self-care is going to be an absolute priority. And self-care can be anything that makes you feel charged. Anything that is charging your battery. So if that means it's a salt bath, if that means it's a walk in nature, if that means it's you sitting in a room by yourself for 2 hours and just staring at the ceiling, watching your favorite show, whatever it's going to do to recharge you and not drain you is what you need to be doing. So again, stay away from people, places, and things that you know are going to be combative and things that are going to drain you. Set yourself up for success now. All right. So before I get into this divine realignment, one thing I want to say that this is interesting is that, let me take a drink of water. Mercury is going to be going direct on election day. And so another thing that is going to be needed this week is patience. Because the last time Mercury went direct on an election day, there had to be a recount. Because Mercury controls the postal service. It controls the mass communication systems, okay? So don't be surprised if something like that happens, all right? And they've already kind of set it up. It's already this whole year, if you've paid any attention to the political system, you know that this kind of stuff's been in the air. So have patience, all right? And remember that neither leader that is running for office, you guys, the truth is when we stop voting and we stop giving our power to the political system is when it will officially begin to fully break down, okay? Because this is not how it was meant to be. But this is a lesson that we are learning because we literally created this reality as humans. We gave our power to them and we allowed it to go topsy-turvy. We allowed for us to just be this dormant energy, this heavy weight at the bottom, and allowed certain people to have all the power. So it isn't about who wins anymore. It really isn't, because if you were to ask me and what I've been channeling and what I've been receiving, and I have kind of alluded to this several times over the year, is I believe with everything in my being that this will be the last presidency. This will be the last US presidency because the world's going to change so dramatically. Okay. And that's why so much stuff has to break down. So I think that's on the 5th or the 6th or something, whatever day it is. So we have the first part of this. The second theme is free fall healing. This is during the 1111 portal, which is a divine realignment. Okay, so here we are. We're inside ourselves. We're getting really clear. We're feeling our safety within. And that's important because this right here is chaos. So we will see at some level some civil unrest happening. And I mean, without the energetics, with just an election year, that's going to happen, right? So add in very powerful energetic paradigm shifts, and you're going to bring in a ton of instability, right? Which is going to manifest differently for each and every person and each different continent and country, okay? They all have their own collective energy and pathway to be experiencing. It's like different sectors of the game. Okay. So when I tap into this energy, it's like, you ever seen like those old school cartoons where, what is that? They're showing me something in channel brain. The Roadrunner guy, so he like goes past and then the guy spins really fast and he's like disoriented and he's like, what's happening? And he can't even see what went by, but he knows something happened because he was spun around and confused. That's what this is. Okay. It is a 100% divine realignment, because as I've been talking about, you probably don't know if you guys can see that, we've been talking about the 1221 to 112 the great activation is what they call it. Okay. And this being the first wave of paradigm shifting. This is beginning right here. This is when the paradigm shift is going to be beginning to be felt. We're starting to move into a different place in the universe. So what does it mean for free falling and healing? This is going to be a lot of truths revealed. Again, chaos, confusion, civil unrest, choosing peace over fear in every moment. Again, you holding the power as the people to face what you're seeing in that moment, or even what you're feeling and you're not seeing in that moment, and still coming back to choose peace in this moment, right? That's how we shift this. So there's going to be a lot of stuff that's going to start to be revealed. Again, 2021, you guys, I've said this several months now, is going to be the year of disclosure, to the point to where more and more galactic stuff is going to be revealed, but they're going to be doing it in a very fear-based way. They don't want you to believe that extraterrestrials or other races are friendly. They want to invoke fear, because this is the whole point. They don't want you to be awake. They don't want you to be communicating with these higher dimensional beings. They don't want you believing in your potential and your power. So as more and more of that stuff gets revealed, which will be next year, they will be revealing a lot more ET galactic stuff, including with, if you guys don't follow Jason Shirka, he put out the pyramid code, and there's a whole light system that is a part of the government system that is made up of not just humans, but galactics. It's crazy, you guys. The content, the disclosure is already out there. It's just real quiet that they put it out. But when it starts getting more louder and obvious, they're going to be doing it in a very fear-based way. But if you follow me, you should already not fear any type of galactic being, because I work with them. I'm working with them right now. This room is filled with galactic beings. Sometimes people who have a really good third eye will even see them on these broadcasts. So keep your eyes open. You might see them. So free falling is going to feel like just that. It's going to feel like a free fall. It's going to feel like you're losing control, that your rights are being taken away, that you're being forced to do things that you don't want to do. Again, the power is in us. We get to choose if we're going to play in the fear and feed them our power. They are going to manipulate any way they can to get you to believe in things like mandatory vaccines, right? In the world being so unsafe that we need martial law, that we need to go into lockdown because the COVID numbers are rising, right? So you have to really be mindful of your energy. Presence from this moment on is going to be your best friend. Not being up in the mind, multitasking, being that mom business owner who's trying to do 55,000 things at one time. Stop that. Breathe. Come back to this moment. Everything is happening just as it's supposed to be. Live in the moment. Live in the moment. Let yourself experience joy. You did not come here to play this advanced level of a game to be freaking miserable. You came to enjoy. We are the only species and the only game currently running in the universe that gets to have and do this much. This is why we have so much interest from the different galactic races, because they're all watching going, this is like the most intense game of chess we've ever freaking seen. With their popcorn going, holy shit, you know? We are the masters, okay? We signed up for the mastery level. That's why you're here. So stop doubting yourself. Start doing the work that you came here to do, to step into your power and to be the light and way shower for the billions of people who are going to wake up. This is why it's important for me to show up at this time. This is why it's important for me to create clear channels, to have things like my academy filled with resources, my YouTube channel filled with resources. Because it's to give to you guys and show you, here's the path. It sounds so simple just to be present and back in this moment. And it's not always easy to do that. But the only reason why it's not easy is because you believe it's not easy. You believe it's hard. You believe in those things, right? So you have to work on reprogramming, repatterning. So it's going to feel like you're losing control, which is exactly what they want. And you have to choose how to shift that energy, how to shift that timeline. This is also going to be a huge healing for our planet and all of us collectively. This is a huge healing. Anytime there are major truths revealed, you guys, it's not like it's something that it's new to us, right? So I'm going to use the child sex trafficking as an example, because so many people, when it started coming out, were like, oh my God, I didn't know about this. It's been going on for more than your lifetime. It's been going on. So as those things are shown and revealed more and more, the truths about some very big, major worldly events that we were lied to about, these types of things are revealed. It's not for you to get angry and upset and fight and argue with another person. Like, what a waste of your energy. Instead, can you hold space? Can you act like you're looking out your window, watching something, going, wow, that's amazing that that's what's happening. And just feel your heart opening up and allowing yourself to literally just pour out your heart and send love and compassion to whatever is happening. That is how we as light workers do our work. That is how we alchemize this energy. Again, remember earlier this year when the ancients first came in, what did they say? They said there's this karmic underbelly rising up, right? And here we are on the second full moon on October 31st, 2020. It is also a blue moon, which hasn't happened, and I don't even know how many years, linear years, coming into the end of a 13,000 year cycle. And it's a karmic release. So as that underbelly finally pushes up to the top, it's like that big thing is going to pop. And now all this stuff's going to start oozing out over the next year. And we're going to start really seeing it. And all they keep telling me that we are supposed to do is to hold space and love it. Now, listen, please hear me when I say this. If you have people in your life, because this is going to get potent, you're going to experience this more and more. You're going to experience more and more people who are very rigid and very matter of fact and stern in their belief system of this is what's happening. But nothing is solid in the universe, okay? Nothing is permanent. I'm reading the energy in this now moment. Tomorrow, this can shift. It could speed up, it could slow down. Energy is always moving and fluid. There's never something that's fixed, and that's why belief systems are limiting. So you're going to experience people who are going to want to argue with you, who are going to want to impose their belief systems on you, who are going to want to pick a fight or say, that's not right, you're crazy, persecution. There's going to be a lot of people you're going to notice in the light worker community who's going to want to stay quiet over the next week, because if they don't, they may be persecuted. Why? Because there's so many people that are stuck in their rigid systems. And when that happens, even if you are a light worker who's still playing in the political game and you're still like, I'm pro Biden or I'm pro Trump or I'm this or I'm that, red versus blue bullshit, any of that stuff, just be like, okay, I'm open to that being a possibility. Does that mean that I believe that that's better or truer over them than what I believe? No. It's you saying, you know what? I don't know everything. I don't know everything, right? I get some of this information from the guides and I'm thinking, is that what's happening out there? Because my world does not look anything like that. My reality does not look anything like this. Half the time I forget we're even in this pandemic. Half the time I forget I have to put a mask on. And most of the time I don't even wear one because I don't believe in it. And if you do something that you don't believe in, that in itself is an inner conflict. So you need to be really mindful, okay? But when you're experiencing someone like that, just say, okay, I see what you're saying. I can be open to that as a possibility. Be open to it. Don't shut it out. Don't be in resistance. Don't be like them. Don't match their energy. Manage your vibration. Manage your frequency, manage your energy. That is the only thing you can control. And again, if you try to control anything outside of you and outside of managing your own energy, you're just going to be wasting your energy, okay? So massive healing on our planet as all of this stuff begins to purge up to the surface. And again, just hold space for it. The same way, on a micro level, there's going to be a ton of crap coming up for us that, as usual, right? It's new layers are going to rise up. Hold space for it. Allow your emotions to be experienced, right? You got to feel it to heal it. Just allow yourself in a very non-judgmental way to allow those emotions to flow without going into the story, without getting attached to it. Just experience the emotions and allow it to shift. And if you feel anxiety, if you feel overwhelmed, if you feel fear, if you feel doubt, open up your notepad, pull out that list of things to drop you back into peace, to drop you back into love, and drop you back into your heart space, into this now moment, and come back to yourself. It's never too late. You can always come back. You can always reclaim. So the third phase is realignment, reconnect, recharge. So in this theme right here, let me see, I have other notes over here. Yes, okay. So in this theme right here, when we're down here at the healing part, so as we get towards the tail end of the middle of the month, this is when you're going to start feeling like you're ready to start speaking some new truths, when you're ready to start taking actions that you haven't taken before. Why? Because you're coming out of this spiral, and as you come into this outer area, what you're going to notice is new doors available to you. Okay? You're going to know that there's all these new doors available to you. It's going to, when the divine realignment is happening, what it's doing is it's opening new pathways and saying, here are new potentials for you, new possibilities. Not everybody's going to have a realignment. Some of you are really on your path. You're right where you're supposed to be. And it will be small tweaks, right? Again, as I mentioned in December, if you've already been on this journey for a while, if you're someone like me who's already been doing the work and is out there leading the way, or even if you're not leading the way yet, you're going to have new abilities coming online, new awareness is opening up, new things shifting. So there's going to be a realignment across the board, but some are going to experience it hardcore, right? Some are going to have big realignments. So when you come out of that chaos, there's going to be new doorways and new opportunities for you. Mars goes direct this month, right? And I don't even know what day. I think it might be November 14th or something like that. So with Mars going direct, that is like full blown, let's start getting moving. Like, let's run. Like, it's like you get dropped and you hit the ground and you're like, I gotta go. I gotta go. You're going to feel that pressure. So be mindful of that, because while you are in realignment, you're reconnected. You're like, I know what I want to do now. I'm so clear. I've got this clarity like I've never had before. I have this new opportunity that I've never had before. You're going to want to go charge at it, right? But what they want you to know is small, right actions. Don't jump on the horse going full speed ahead. Small, right actions. Forward momentum, let it build, okay? Let it domino, let it slowly build, making sure that you take time to manage your energy, to rest, to be in reflection, non-judgment, to be always kind of checking in and tuning in with yourself. So we start going in the beginning of the month inward, right? I don't say protect your energy, because I don't believe that we ever need to protect our energy. I think that's a crock of shit. What this is meaning is it means manage your energy. It means go inward and create sacredness inside your world and your reality, so that when you hit this, when the chaos, however it shows up in your country, in your world, in your reality or not, you will be prepared. If it's an internal storm or an external storm or both, you will be prepared. You have anchored inward. You have anchored your safety inside of yourself. So no storm is going to damage you, okay? And when you come out of that storm, you're going to see those new doorways, and you're going to be 10 times more prepared to walk that new path, because these new pathways, you guys, that a lot of you are going to be presented with are going to be things you never thought you would ever experience. They're going to be things that you never thought were possible for you. They are going to be big quantum leaps, okay? Especially for those who've been doing the work and who are super ready for it. Those who haven't been doing the work and this comes in, it's going to be a little turbulent for you. But that's okay, because that's what you signed up to experience, okay? Because you create your reality. And you can, we have two major realities that are going to be showing up. One that's going to be in complete suffering. These are going to be the people who are stubborn, who fight against everything, who resist change, who see all this world crashing down as the apocalypse, right? You're going to see people who are attached. You don't suffer unless you're attached. So if you are experiencing suffering in your life, you're attached to something emotionally, and you need to figure out what that is. Or mentally, it could even just be a belief system. There's going to be two major realities. One of pain, limitation, control, and suffering, and one that's the pink energy, right? Which is the highest frequency of joy that there is. That's just the pink ray, hot pink ray. It's going to be people that are living their life blissfully while there may be external destabilization happening. All right. They are living their best lives. They are traveling and laughing and enjoying and not worrying about all the things that are about to collapse, because they know that their power is in the now moment. These are two very huge realities. Okay. And you want to make sure that you are surrounding yourself with more people in this reality than this one. And you're going to have family members who are in that reality of suffering. And a lot of people are afraid that they're going to get left behind. They're going to get stuck. And I want you to know that if that's what happens, right? I never believe you're stuck, but if they stay in that energy and they choose suffering, that is the path that they have chosen. And there's going to be great lessons for them to learn. Everything is always perfect. This is a game, even though it feels very, very real at times. Everything is always happening for us, never to us. It may be shocking in the moment when things happen. It may be a little disturbing, or it may feel like an earthquake, or, something that is really kind of shakes you for a moment. Take a breath, come back to yourself. Remember that this is all perfect and that love has already won. And this is a slow motion replay, and your power remains in the present moment. Okay? This is why it's very important to have these tools to thrive. So tools to thrive. If you're in my academy or even in my Secret Soul Society membership, I've given you guys tons of tools, tons of energy healing transmissions, tons of things to keep you guys realigned and continuously coming back to yourself. But if you're not in those things, here's some things that you can do if you don't have your own tools already. You can learn to hold space, okay? Which means you don't fix. You sit, you allow, you move on, okay? You use breath work. Breath is super important. It is our life force energy. There is 1,000,000,001 breath exercises on YouTube. There's literally no excuses. You can do breath of fire. You can do ego eradicator, which uses breath of fire. You can do any other Kundalini breath work. There's all kinds of there's the Hoff method. There's tons of breath exercises that you can do that really moves the energy in your body, okay? So find some breath work. You can do self-care. Again, self-care is going to be anything that brings you peace and brings you joy and brings you comfort, that allows you to feel safe enough to relax your nervous system and your muscles. We have spent this year bracing for impact. That is really hard on your body, okay? You need to allow, you need to surrender, you need to relax. This is why, right? The third phase, right? You guys know I've been known worldwide as the soul's shaman, and that's because there are 4 phases or stages of consciousness and how we move through them from the macro to the micro. Okay, first stage is victim. It's suffering. It's masculine, me energy. The second is very feminine. It's wounded healer. It's very emotional, right? It's you. Let me give, because I know what it feels like to hurt. And we're trying to move into phase 3 right now. And phase 3 is for me, for you, for us. Everything I do supports me, supports you, supports the whole. I don't put any content or create anything in my business or my academy or my offerings that only benefits me or only benefits you, because if I do, it won't work. I've tried. I've done things for people that I didn't want to do. I've done things that I wanted to do that I knew other people wouldn't want to do. They flopped, right? For me, for you, for us. It's about coming into unity. We're bringing everything together and we're doing everything that serves the whole. And that includes you. Okay? So self-care, anything that's going to bring you into that. Listening to music that is upbeat or peaceful, right? You can watch TV shows, getting out into nature, but have your tools prepared, right? Journaling. And again, holding space. Don't ignore the thoughts in your mind. Do not suppress, reject, deny the emotions that you're feeling. It will only compound them and make them worse. Face it head on. This is what this feels like. Allow yourself to just go through the emotional release. And once you've gotten through the emotional, then you can go and through hindsight and observe and see what lesson was there for you to learn. Because remember, you cannot have today's awareness without yesterday's mistakes. So something had to happen for you to have that new awareness, come forward. Okay, so let's move into December so we can talk about what's going on from there. So I know I've told you last month and the month before that 12/21 through January 12th, give or take, you don't really want to give solid dates with these kind of things. But I was guided by my team to look at a calendar when I first brought this through. That's why I have those dates. This is when we are going to have that great activation. A lot of people are just talking about 12/21. 12/21 is an astrological alignment. It's a planetary alignment. What do those do? Same with 11/11, right? What do those do? They're gateways. They align everything in a certain way so we can receive the amount of photonic light, the amount of DNA codes, the amount of gamma rays, whatever is needed, right? There's even supersonic. There's so many different technologies that come through. It's the perfect alignment, the perfect window to allow the perfect amount of energy to come through onto the planet. That's all it is, okay? It's an alignment point, right? It's like lining everything up to match perfectly. That's why there's a window of time where these activations will be happening. This is when people are going to start waking up. And this is also the first wave of people moving. It's this major paradigm shift. I don't even know where it is. It's on there somewhere. Major paradigm shift. You're going to feel it. But this is starting this month with this alignment, okay? Which is already in the process of opening with this moon anyway. So during that time. But what I want to tell you is before 12/21. So what's happening right now is we are moving into another space in the universe, right? I talked about this last month when I told you guys we had a new sun, right? We have moved into another part of the universe, but we are continuously moving. Around the 16th, 17th of December, we're going to be moving into a very photonic rich space in the universe, which makes sense, right? Because we need to move into that photonic rich space for that activation, right? For that great alignment. So we're going to start feeling this crazy high vibe energy. The Schumann resonance is probably going to be all over the place. You're going to start feeling this type of energy, 4 or 5 days before the 21st. Okay. And depending on how you are energetically, like me personally, I feel everything 2 to 3 days before it happens. All right. So the full moon is today. I actually felt the full moon energies and everything I had to go through days ago. I'm always a few days ahead. Okay. Some people will be a few days after. It's just depending on how you process energy and what stage of your journey you are on to how much you're going to feel, if anything. Okay. So those are the two big things that are happening in December 2022 and 2023. This is new information for me, which is crazy. So they did show me that towards the end of this year, again, as we move into that more photonic rich place, there's a reason why we're going to have more galactic and other planetary race information coming out, and it's going to be because people are going to start seeing them more, not with their physical eyes, unless you see that way. I see with my physical eyes. I see more with my eyes open than I do closed. But your third eyes, a lot of people's third eyes are going to be opening, and they're not going to realize that it's actually their third eye that's opening. And so more and more people are going to start seeing this stuff, right? So the disclosure is going to become more mainstream, and they're going to be pumping it full of fear so that you don't connect with these beings and open up your stream of consciousness to them. Come 2022, 2023, in that area, this is how quickly and crazy we're going to shift. It's going to be very common to realize that we are not on this planet alone. You will start realizing that there are beings walking around that look sort of like humans that are not human. And they're not to be feared. We have beings in the earth. We have plenty of races that live on our earth. We have plenty of races that are hybrid with our aquatic beings. We have plenty of races that live in the oceans. You guys, science hasn't even tapped the surface of what's happening on this planet. But come 2022, 2023, this is going to be very normal things, right? When I first started talking about galactics, I had friends that thought I was insane, thought I was crazy, told me, don't do those energy updates. Don't tell people who you're connecting with. Don't do any of that. No one's going to understand. And it was scary. It was scary to do it, but I did it anyway. Okay. This isn't going to be scary woo-woo stuff anymore. It's going to be normal, everyday knowledge that we live among other races, and we will see them more, and they will start to come out and interact with us more. And I think it's cool, honestly. As a little girl who stared up at the moon as a child going, this is not my planet. This is not my home. Where are my people? These are not it. I have dreamed of this day since I was very little. Because even though I could see galactics from a very early age, it's different when you can't interact with them in the way that we could before, right? And that's why our bodies is what ascending. We are moving from carbon to crystalline, okay? And that's when your skin starts to get very see-through, right? There are days when the sun hits my skin and I can see crystals underneath my skin. Our bodies are going back to a state of where we will move collectively into a new plane of consciousness, right? It's not going to be 3, 4, 5D consciousness. It's going to be the 3rd, 4th, 5th dimensional plane of existence. And those planes will begin to shift, and our bodies will then be allowed, once again, as more and more of us go from carbon to crystalline, we will go back to our shape-shifting abilities. We will go back to not having our bodies be buried in the ground, right? Or having a hard release. It'll be more of a shifting. Now, will that happen in the timeline that we are here? I don't know. I can't answer that question, right? Were times when we lived for 900 years. It's a belief system that we age. It's a belief system, right? I talked about it the other day on my live when I went to the eye doctor, right? It's all a belief system. Everything is a belief system. So check in with what your belief systems are. Question everything, right? That was that one message from a couple of days ago. Question everything. Because everything is a belief system bought to help these people to be able to sustain a power that they're not able to sustain. Why? Because they're still in phase 1, where they have to go and take everybody else's power because they can't sustain their wealth or their power or their whatever. I don't even know the word. I can't think of the human word for this. Stature, right? They can't sustain that without siphoning power from the bottom, right? From the bottom up. But we can choose to cut that off and not give them any more. And then we win because the power is in us. Okay. So we talk about 22, 23. Over 21 and 22, what's going to be happening is we're going to see our schools completely restructure. We're going to see our financial systems completely restructure. Our government is going to completely restructure. In fact, I don't even see the government anywhere near what it is now. It's not even close. We're going to go back to communal style living. We're going to go back to a world that is serving of everyone and not self-serving to the select few, while the rest of us suffer. Okay? This is where we're going. But all you are required to do is to not resist the fall. You have to make space to build the new systems. And so that means we have to deconstruct what's here. And again, you are going to see what you believe. Okay? So you can choose to see it through muddy glasses, through scratches, or you can see it through rose-colored glasses going, let me just send as much love and compassion to what's happening right now so that it will happen faster. Because if all of us woke up tomorrow and decided that we were no longer in fear and that we were safe inside of ourselves, right? And that we were healthy and happy and we're not going to give our power anymore, the world would flip like that. Okay? But there are a lot of things that a lot of humans aren't ready for. So this is happening at a pace that it's designed to make that a little bit easier on those who have been sleeping hardcore. Okay? Not everybody's ready to hear about all of this. But that's not going to stop me from sharing it, because if you showed up here, there's something you needed to see here or hear. Okay? Or maybe a seed that needed to be planted. So this is what's going to happen. We're going to see a bunch of disclosure. We're going to start seeing things break down. There's no need to fear. Okay? It's all happening perfectly. Remember that. Don't buy into it. Don't buy into anything outside of yourself that does not bring you into peace or joy. Learn to trust your instincts, your intuition, and you do that by going inward. Okay? Everything I personally teach is about guiding you to trust and discern yourself and to clear that channel. The fastest way to open your spiritual gifts is to clear all the density, right? When I do DNA activations and restructuring, I clear like from multiple lifetimes, realities, bloodlines. It's going so deep, right? And I allow that activation. It takes 6 months to fully take effect. Why? Because I'm not one of those a-hole healers that wants to put you into a healing crisis. It needs to happen in its divine timing, okay? So allow for those people to go through the motions that they need to go through and hold space for the world. It may come out looking better than we thought. And if more and more people fall into the fear, then we may see more of those potential timelines of, mandated vaccines and all the other crazy things that could possibly happen. But those are potentials that don't have to play out, okay? They don't have to. So remember, the power is in us. And as the world begins to deconstruct, get excited about the potential of what's to come, okay? So let me check the comments. Do I have my glasses? I don't. So I'm going to get super close to the screen and see if anybody has any questions I can answer real quick. Tennessee, Chicago in the house. Woo woo. Kelly, Anna, Lisa, Julie. Hi, guys. Hi, Missy, Corey. Angela says, oh my God, I've been saying for years, we just need to stop voting if we really want to see change. Bingo. That's it. London, good vibes. Hello, London. New Jersey. My girlfriend's from New Jersey. Anyone know anything about the ascension? Well, we just talked about all of that. Ascension just is the body is what's ascending, you guys. Ascension is the game that we're playing. Our body's what's physically ascending, going from carbon to crystalline. And this is a learning journey. Okay. Everything we're here to do is mastery level. This is the hardest game in the universe right now, is the earth game. So if you're here and your life is struggling, if it's hard, you're attached to something, right? There's a lot of things that need to shift in you. Annette says this helps clarify so much. Good, 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 good. Okay, you guys, so this is a lot of information. I know. Go back and listen to it several times if you need to. Hit that share button if you know someone that would benefit from understanding a different perspective of what's happening. And remember, grace and compassion, you guys, is going to be the very thing that we need individually. It's that mixed with presence and awareness. These are our superpowers. You don't need to have clairvoyant or psychic abilities. You don't need to have all the modalities. You don't have to have all of that stuff. Your superpowers really are locked in your presence, your awareness, your ability to hold compassion and grace for people. People are going to get angry. People are going to be jerks. People are going to be stuck in their belief systems. People are going to be spreading fear. It's your choice to buy into it and spread it even more, or let it stop with you and hold so much space for it that it shifts completely. And that other person is like, whoa, I didn't shift this person. I didn't shake this person. Maybe I can open my mind a little bit more. Okay. You guys hold the power. All right. Speaking of which, I have a little bit of not an announcement, but you guys won't really notice a difference, but starting Monday, I'm actually going on radio silence. So I'm giving myself an hour a day to post on social media to keep my engagement up, to bring forth any messages that show up or just to inspire you guys. But I am going into quarantine before a routine surgery, so nothing's wrong with me. I have to quarantine so that I can have the surgery. So I'm using this as an opportunity to go radio silent and go completely inward. And that means other than that hour a day, there'll be no social media for me. I won't be watching television. I won't be talking to anybody. I won't be seeing anybody in my family. I will be completely isolated. And I'm doing this because I am reclaiming all of my energy. I know what's happening for me in December. I know there's a big, gigantic shift for me coming. And I know that it's going to change the trajectory of a lot of things. And I want to make sure that I'm in the most alignment and that I am anchored very deeply in me. So while you'll still see me posting, I will not be live, and I will not be answering anybody's messenger. So if you do get an answer, you'll know that it's from Corey, my manager, and Corey will be letting you know that it's her and not me, but she will be responding to you on Messenger. And for those who were waiting on teacher training, that's been pushed off until my books are done. I will also be writing during this time. My 2 channeled books, so the one's almost done and the other one hopefully will get written this year as well. So I have agreed to take on 3 or 4 private students to go through mentorship with me in spiritual development and teacher training. If you're one of those people that had already reached out to me and were waiting to give me, finalize things, please know that I won't be responding to you until November 11th at the earliest, okay? But don't think that your spot's gone. Don't think that you can't still be one of the select few to go through that mentorship with me. You can still send me the message, but I won't get back to you until the 11th, all right? So hold tight, you guys. Drop into that heart center. Be the light, be the change. Together we can rise, we can shift, we can make this a pleasant experience versus a scary, crazy, suffering experience. We hold the power, all right? So I love you guys so much, and I hope you guys have an amazing evening. Bye.